manage my park well.
Damn.
Right. So like literally like, all right, like you said you value your reputation. Well, shit. Basically, I'm not gonna recommend them to anybody. And I'm saying it on YouTube too. One day I'll be big. So right now I'm nobody, but one day I'll be big. It's just like you're biting yourself in the ass right there, but it's okay. That's how you do business. Your reputation follows you. Because basically all you have is your word, right? Like for me, I'm very like, if I say something, I'll do it. I keep my word.
Yeah. I try to be the same, yeah.
And I expect the same. And, or if I can't keep my word, I'll at least give you why or what I'm going to do to mitigate it or make up for it.
Right.
But then no one's like that. So it's just kind of like, okay, well, I'm basically realizing that I'm like a super outlier, like the 1%, and no one's going to be like me. So you just kind of have to accept it, right? Like Warren Buffett says, make your business idiot proof, because one day an idiot's gonna be running your business. It's true, right?
Yep.
So, you know, like if I get to the point where I want to train a VA to become an asset manager, you know, it'll be easier for them if they're all in one spot, right?
I think you can do that. Yeah, I think you have good potential for that.
Yeah. I mean, I don't mind doing it myself either. Like, I don't think it's gonna be
for
that
now.
bad.
Yeah, you don't mind for now, but yeah.
Even when I'm good, like if it's not that bad, I mean, at that point, I'm so systematized, right?
Honestly, I think we're made to work, right? I mean, we can't just sit at home and do nothing.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I'm like, but like, I don't mind working, but I want to be like, okay, I can respond to that email when I'm in Cancun.
Or so, yes, exactly, on the beach under
yeah, right. Like, I don't mind responding to that. And then like, okay, if I got hit with $50,000 bill and I have like 300 sitting in my bank, I'm not stressed. Yes. Versus if I got hit with $50K bill and I only have $40K, now I'm stressed, right? So like for me, it's like, what conditions do I need to be in to not be stressed? And to me, it's just, I don't mind responding. I'm not stressed, but like I need to have a good reserve for that, right? To not be stressed. So like for me, I learned that I don't like to be as leveraged. Like, you know, the real estate gurus are like, oh, leverage. But the true real estate, like Dave Ramsey owns like $500 million in real estate, all cash, no debt.
Right.
Like that's the true wealth, right? Because he's like saying like he got wiped out during 2008, and he's like, well, the bank can't wipe me out now because I don't. There's no bank on the loan.
Crazy,
right? He's basically the OG guru, right? He basically been selling education and has a media platform and selling courses as well. And he takes all that money and he dumps into real estate that he owns. So I mean, like that's the path, right? I don't even want to be at like, you know, worth $500 million. Just give me 50 million. I'll be good. You know, over time. So yeah, it's my perspective changed like a lot. Like,
no, that's normal.
Yeah. Like that's why I tell people, I'm like, your current mindset right now, it's going to completely change once you attain a certain level of success. And to me, like it's always basically what I learned is when you're in your worst moment, it's not as bad as what you think it is.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you achieve whatever goal it is you set to achieve, it's not going to be as great as you thought it was.
Oh yeah.
It's really the journey and the path and what you learn along the way.
Yeah.
Like I'm probably going to more remember like me pushing this damn mobile park through versus like me losing 50K on the deal.
Oh yeah, for sure. 50's gonna be for sure. I agree.
Yeah. So it's crazy. And like I said, like, you know, the only downside of, I guess, the way you're running the business now, like you kind of are required to be there, right?
Exactly.
A little bit, but yeah, it just slowly, you know, maybe you have to move away from California or
just buy out of California and then
I think if you buy one out of California.
You think I could find something like that, like a 20 unit or so, kind of like yours, that I could just work on slowly like that?
Like, so you would actually fly out and work on that yourself?
No. Sorry, not work on it myself, but like work on it remotely, like just run a property management team and all that. And
yeah, I think you can find one. You know, you can do a reverse 1031 exchange, right? Where you find the property first, and if you want to unload a property,
I just want to do something separately from all that.
Oh yeah. In that case, like, you know, well, you know, if it's going to be, let's say $1 million price point, you're going to put at least 25% down. That's 250 plus another 300 to renovate. You know, depending on how extensive the renovations are. So that's what can
I get for like 800 to $1 million?
In the Southeast, probably like a 20 to 30 unit.
Okay.
Unless you do direct mail like what I was doing, but even then, I still think that like, yeah, I'd probably be like, if you're lucky, yeah, even if you bought something like my 26 unit for like 800, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
I'd probably buy something like that right now, but
Are most
yeah.
of yours 1 bedroom or 2 bedroom?
I think I have both.
You don't even know?
Yeah, I don't even know the mix. No, I have a mix. I think it's like a decent, like I have some studios, 1 beds and 2 beds.
Oh, nice.
Like 20. Yeah, that's how detached I am. I'm like,
That's good.
I know I got some 2 bedrooms though.
My issue is if you ask me if unit 14 has a plumbing leak in the shower, I'll tell you the model number of the faucet.
Yeah,
I know
dude.
too much.
Like for me, I just know that, what units need to be they're working on unit number 2. Okay, cool.
Are you doing this all on Excel or you have a software? What do you?
No, my property managers use Rent Manager. So
Okay.
it's so every month I get like a reports. Sometimes my managers are behind because they're so busy renting the units out, but sometimes I just text them saying, "Oh, how many units are vacant?" They're like 2. Out of those 2, how much need you renovate? Which ones need renovation? This one. Well, how much is it going to cost? That much? Okay, let's do that. That's literally my extent of all I know.
How big is the property management company?
I think they have like, maybe they're managing like 200, 300. They're smaller, but they focus more on like renovations of the properties.
No, that's good. Yeah, but they do pretty good work. Have you've flown there and you've seen their work, or?
I haven't seen their work. I've seen pictures.
Okay.
Like I said, even if I go there, I can't validate. I see pictures of it.
Send me.
I'm sure if you go in there and you look at every nook and cranny, you're like, oh, they did a shit job here, they did a shit job here. For me, I'm like, no, that looks nice. Yeah, I'd live there. So it's like literally for my 20 unit, I had to evict 2 tenants where they sharpie all over the walls.
Yeah.
And those are one of the units that I renovated, and I got a quote from the guy who renovated initially. He's like, oh, it's gonna cost $3,000. I was like, what the hell? Like,
wow.
You charged me $5,000 to renovate that from the beginning. This is already renovated. Like, this just needs touch up. Like, yes, we have to repaint the walls and like repair this dry wall, but how's that?
Okay, exactly. Exactly.
How's that $3,000, right? And then
I'm
just like, dude, I gave you so much business. Like, why
I know.
are you overcharging me? Like, you literally renovate my whole 20 unit apartment complex, and I literally paid you not you, but like $120,000, and 2/3 of that went to you. Because labor, because his if materials was 1K, his labor would be 2K.
Yeah.
Right. So literally, I gave you that much, and then literally, my property manager's like, yeah, I have this handyman that like works on my house. Like, if it's just paint and drywall, like, yeah, it's gonna be like $600. I was like, oh yeah, it's better, right?
Jeez.
But yeah, you're probably thinking, oh shit, I can paint a wall in like, a couple hours and be done. And I agree, like paint, I could probably do paint, right? But then like, I'm just like, because I took that guy's security deposit, and security deposit was about $500, so at least security deposit covered the cost to do the repairs. That's all I care about, right? I don't care.
Yeah. To make money off it, yeah.
I got my 600 and from the security deposit, and that fixed everything else is a new unit that I rented out, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then that's all I care about. But I'm like, I don't want to come out of pocket to like renovate this unit, and I'm not even gonna get that much more rent, like because I had a burned out unit that cost me $40,000 to replace everything, like brand new, and that's in Oklahoma, right? 40,000 brand new. And I only got like $500 in rent. I was like, at that point, I was like, dude, I don't need to renovate that heavily then. Just landlord special, right? Just slap on some stuff and and make it rentable, livable, nice. Because the people who live there, they like it because of the location, and they like it because it's more affordable.
What's the location? Just like near highways or jobs or
what? Near downtown in Enid.
Okay.
So it's nearby a stadium. They actually have a little stadium there, like an event center. So yeah, why I liked Enid, because when I was there visiting, they were building a Buffalo Wild Wings.
I never heard of it. How do you spell it?
ENID.
I've never heard of it.
Yeah,
I never heard of it either.
I never heard of it either until I bought a property.
I feel so sheltered now. Okay.
It's okay. I never heard of it either until I bought a property there. I was literally there because I was looking at I was actually looking at a medical office building across the street from a hospital.
Okay.
And because I'm in healthcare, right? So I was like, yeah, they're renting there. It was a bunch of like medical clinics, like gastroenterology, pulmonology, urology, oncology. And I was like, huh, 2.5 million. And it would have cash flowed like, 8% cash and cash.
Yeah.
And it was like, I think they paid everything except I think I had to pay the water. But then I think they were like prorating the leases so that like they would have to cover it, the water on the leases or something based on how much percentage of land they used.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how I know that area. And then I went there because I was visiting the 50 unit. That was an unit as well. So I just drove around the area because I was there, visiting.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a nice area. I thought it was a nice little area. It's up north. It seemed like it was gentrifying. Buffalo Wild Wings was there. And usually after Buffalo Wild Wings, they'll have a Trader Joe's, Whole Foods, Chick-fil-A. And that's when it's gentrifying, right?
Wow. Yeah, that would be good. I've never even seen this on the map. Like, I don't even know where
Oh,
this
me
is.
too. It's next to Kansas. It borders Kansas.
Jeez, like I didn't even know this part of the United States existed.
And then in Oklahoma, they're actually building an amusement park there. It's like gonna be like a Disneyland,
Okay.
but RV park. So I know because of me, people are interested in investing in Oklahoma. It's I'm advertising it, but I don't know. No, yeah, you just have to find the deals though.
Yeah, for sure. Again, there are deals in your backyard too, right? It's just everywhere. You just have to.
There's deals everywhere. You just have to be consistent, patient, and persistent. Like I know when I'm ready to buy, I can find a deal within 6 months.
Okay. Yeah.
If I'm serious, like if I have the money, I'm ready to go, and I'm on it.
Same tactic, though, right?
Same tactic.
Yeah.
I would just text all the people I previously reached out to first. See if I can make a deal happen there. If not, I'm gonna just start sending 300 letters a month.
Yeah.
Hit the whole area, and then I guarantee if I do that consistently and make offers consistently, I'll get something in 6 months.
Awesome.
So, it's doable there. So
are you handwriting all these?
No, I pay. I'm lazy.
No.
I'm lazy.
A lot of people handwrite, which is crazy.
No, I pay people to handwrite it.
Oh, okay.
So that's yellow. They'll handwrite it for me.
Got it. You don't do that ballpoint marketing type thing?
No, just ballpoint.
Machine.
They do it for me.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah, I pay them, and
because I met some guy that made all his little cousins do it for money too.
Yeah. So I actually offer a direct mail service for people. I do their mails for them.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, you do it yourself, it's cheaper. But the problem with some people is they just can't do it consistently. So if you pay me, it's gonna be a premium, but I guarantee it's gonna be done.
Yeah. People stop after like a month, kind of thing. Yeah.
They get discouraged after a month, but for me, I'm like, well, you prepaid me, so.
But how do you even find a city?
Just wherever you have an unfair advantage in.
Oh,
I just hit all Oklahoma. I sent letters to all Oklahoma.
Oh, that's how you did it. Okay.
Yeah, I didn't pick a city. I just sent a bunch of letters, and whoever called me, right? But usually the smaller town people, you're more likely to get more hits versus Oklahoma City.
Right. Yeah. Everyone's attacking the city, right? Like.
Yeah. Most people want to invest in the major cities, right?
Right. Most people haven't heard of the city, so yeah.
Yeah. So for me, I'm like, and I'll like do my look up the city metrics, and if I like it, then I invest there.
How many sellers or properties did you turn down? Like, this is such a bad area, or?
I don't think I turned down deals. Well, some I turned down. Like if it's just like high crime, I didn't take my advice from a mobile park, but if it's too high of a crime, I don't go there. If the population is too small and it's a negative, declining growth population, I don't invest there. If it's like the job market is dependent on like one sector, I don't invest there. Like some areas in Oklahoma, like Lawton, there's a military base there. So when it's there, it's great, right? You have a bunch of military people who are paying you rent every month and they're never there.
Sure.
But if the military base leaves, you're screwed.
Right.
So to me, I don't like that, right? I want a diversity of jobs.
Right. Did you follow the trends, like the U-Haul trends and all that?
No, I don't look that deep. Honestly,
okay.
I just.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah, man. I'm like, well, is the fact that my 2 apartments are 90% occupied? I think that.
Oh yeah, that's proof.
Right. That
was basically most on what though? Population size?
I mean, Enid's 50,000. I just based it off of just some basic metrics, and I asked my property manager, I'm like, hey, like, how's the demand there?
That's good. Something, yeah. I mean, okay, yeah. Some people just look into way too much data.
I think people overthink that thing. At the end of the day, you
yeah.
just own it, and worst case, if you're if you're not fully occupied, then you might have to lower your price a bit, and if you lower your price, then you'll rent it out. Right?
Yeah.
That's all it is.
You bought it at such a good price, so that helps a lot.
Yeah,
too.
like to me, I don't care, right? Like I bought equity day one, and I have the ability to value add. So whatever, if my vacancy is not as great or my rent's not as high as I thought, whatever, and that's not why I bought it, right?
How long is the eviction over there? How long does it take?
15 days.
Perfect. Yeah. Man. Here it's like 3 to 6 months, and then the jury trial and all.
You got 7, and then you got COVID, right? So they delayed the jury.
It was like
right?
3.5 years. It was like
Yeah, COVID for 3 years. That's happened to me in Alabama. Oh, we want
I couldn't find a job for 3 years because of COVID. I'm like, what are you talking about? There's hiring signs everywhere.
like Alabama, they actually gave emergency rental assistance.
Yeah.
To landlords, but trying to get people who aren't educated to apply, that was difficult.
That's very difficult. That's
right?
a whole, yeah.
So literally they do it for them, and then, but hey, I got paid a bunch of money, back rents, right? They would pay all the back rents plus 6 months in advance.
Right.
So
we got lucky here in Orange County. None of our tenants missed one payment the last 4 years.
In California, like you have better tenants. Like people don't miss. Like none of my California tenants like missed for the most part.
Yeah, that's good.
So like that's why my Livermore house, like I'm only getting $4,000 a month, but I have like $700,000 of equity in there.
Wow.
I'm just like, damn, man, I could 1031 exchange that, get an apartment complex.
A couple, yeah.
That would
a large one, yeah.
Gross like 30K.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Why not?
I wish I sold that and bought that 50 unit. I could have done it. I could have done it. I still can't do it. Maybe he didn't sell it yet.
Maybe. Well, I mean, once your mobile home projects are done.
Yeah, I think he didn't sell it yet, but if he didn't, maybe I'll do that. Maybe I'll actually do that. I'll just sell that Livermore property, take the $700,000 equity, dump it into that property.
Then how are you going to get like another 400,000, 500,000 to renovate it?
Well, that one, it was nice already. You don't need to renovate it.
Oh, it was all turnkey.
Yeah, because he developed it himself. So I think they're like 20 years old.
Okay.
So like literally, it's just like typical, unless a tenant trashes it or a fire happens.
A couple here and there.
Yeah, I mean, I just need to have like maybe another 100,000 in reserve just to like cover whatever that is. But
you're seeing banks are tightening down too, right?
Huh?
Banks are tightening down on lending.
Oh yeah, dude. My cash out refinance took me 90 days.
And you have a good W-2 job too. I took off the last year of work, 2 years of work just to build out these properties. And
no, dude, they even asked me, so why'd your W-2 income go down over the past 3 years? And I was just like, dude, the fact that I have a W-2,
I know,
is like, and I make good decent money, right? I'm not like I'm a high income W-2, but because I moved from the Bay Area to here, I took a 40K pay cut.
Jeez, yeah,
right.
My friend took the same. She went from San Diego to like San Bernardino.
Yeah, you take like from Bay Area, I could literally go to the Bay Area right now, get the same pharmacy director job, and probably make like 50K more than I'm currently making.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Right, and then plus I own real estate there that I can live in.
Yeah.
So I tell my girlfriend, like, dude, you want to retire? Literally, if I make 50K more, that's almost half a pharmacist's salary. Right? Like you can literally just be part-time, but you're gonna have to be willing to be in the Bay Area.
Is she a pharmacist?
Yeah, she's a pharmacist too.
Okay.
So, but she's like, no, I want to be in SoCal. I'm like, all right, well, I threw the option to you. Just don't say.
Honestly, I wonder how. Yeah, she can almost, if she wanted, just quit, and she can get the rep status and then.
Yeah, or she can part-time and still be rep status.
Yeah.
Right, like you have 20 hours of
exactly
day job. And 21 hours of real estate.
Yep. So that's the IRS agent, not me, but yeah.
Document everything, right? You have your hours documented, and you document and it's believable. And I have my portfolio.
Yeah.
It's believable. So.
Well, the point is you have a lot of options. That's good then.
Yeah. So
now or and later. So.
That's why I just said like I'm severely underpaid, like right now, like. But it's fine. Like I just kind of want my job to be easy as I'm building my other businesses.
Yeah.
And I do a lot of my job's flexible, so if I need to like respond to emails, I can do it at work, right? I can if people text me, I can respond, or if it requires a phone call, step out, take a break, and
That is
respond
so nice.
to the 10-minute phone conversation. So, as long as I have that flexibility, I can, run my business. Most people are like just pharmacy directors and they're like super stressed, right?
Mm-hmm.
To me, I'm like, man, that's so easy. I'm not bleeding $10,000 a month. I'm actually making money regardless of how I perform. I literally can do absolutely nothing one day of work and get paid 8 hours.
Yeah.
Versus, of our business, if we don't do work, it doesn't move.
Yep.
So I'm
And
like,
you lose money.
I'm like, yeah, and you're losing money. I'm like, why are you stressed? W-2 is nothing to me now. I'm like, what? Like,
That's good.
like what? I'm not losing money and I'm getting paid regardless.
Yep. And you can do other things.
And
That's
I can do my other things while I'm at work.
Yeah, that's triple dipping.
I'm like, this is amazing. Like, if I was remote, oh my God, I would be so productive.
Oh, yeah.
Because when you show up, you have to like play the politics and, be available and, pretend to work. But in reality, I'm actually productive like 3-4 hours a day. That's most
A lot of jobs are like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Most people are productive. And even me, my 3 to 4 hours is like probably other people's like 10 to 12 hours.
Yeah.
And then literally like, I just sit there, do my thing and just sitting there available. But if I was remote, oh my God, man, I could like film more content, coach people. I can get rid of my commute, which saves me 2 hours. And
oh, wow. That long?
Yeah. I commute 2 hours a day at least.
Jeez. I hate that.
And then like, but imagine if I had those 2 hours, I coach people or I created more content or coached or spent time getting more real estate deals, right? Like, it's just like these little things. Like if I was remote and making the same money, I was like, damn, like that's what I was trying to aim for. Cause I know I could do both, right?
Yeah.
Like you get that best of both worlds and triple double dipping. And, if I'm remote and it's East Coast time, then you start 5 a.m. here and you finish at like 1 p.m. and you still have like the rest of your day.
That'd be so perfect.
Yeah. So
either way, even just right now, once your projects are done, which is not your project's done, but like once it's sold, you're entering this holiday season without that much stress and all your projects
next week. When if you come on in a session, my part might be sold and then my apartments might be done. Like literally,
no, it should be right. And then that's how you enter the holiday season. That's perfect.
Yeah, like into the holiday, and then I'm just gonna like relax for this Q4.
That's what I'm doing. I just finished all my 7 projects. I'm gonna take like 3 months off, hopefully, and then we'll see.
3 months off, and then write out these high interest rates, and then in 2024, recalibrate and reorganize my money and see how I want to plan.
Yep, I might renovate like 2-3 more units just to get it ready, just in case we wanted to sell next year or something, and we'll see.
So is this the 10 unit? Are they just that old that you're renovating?
15 units. Yeah, it's old. It's like 1960 something, 60.
It's the original. Like it's never been renovated.
I think 5 or 6 units out of the 15 are renovated.
Okay, so you're basically going in and renovating for the 15 unit,
right?
So you have a 15 unit and a 10 unit?
No, 15 units and then like a bunch of houses and ADUs.
Oh, okay. Oh, then a bunch of.
But those guys never call. Like the housing ADU, they call like once every 1 to 2 years.
Yeah, like my single family, for the most part, it's like, oh, hey, like the toilet's like not flushing.
Oh yeah, mine's like, hey, how come you didn't cash my check yet? It's the 3rd. I'm like, I haven't gone to the post office yet. Like, they don't. Wow. Yeah, it's just like stuff like that. Like, did you get it? Did you get it? I'm like, okay, calm down.
Yeah, or like, well, my San Francisco house is like super old. It's like over 100 years old.
Oh yeah.
And then like every time it rains, there's always like a leak because like I think the walls are just so soft and old over time. Like there's always going to be a leak. I just said, well, we'll try to find a spot, but just if you know where the leak's coming from, just put a little bucket there. It's San Francisco. What do you expect, right?
Yeah.
It's an old house. So, like I said, I can turn each one of my single family homes in California into like a 30 to 50 unit apartment complex.
That puts it in perspective. Yeah, that's good to know.
So if you think about that, like I have 3, I can trade those up into like almost 100 units.
And what were those net at these interest rates? Like use our last one. If it's gross is what, 50,000 you said?
Yeah, I mean, well, the 50. So the one that for 2.5 million, that gross is about 33K.
Okay.
So assume expense ratio like 60%, including 5% reserve. So that'd be your technical profit, right? But I'm just saying that, like, I'm basically trading. Yeah, I could trade up like a couple properties and convert that into like 100 more units. So literally, I just can sell my single family homes and go to about 150 units.
Mhm.
You know, so.
But do you think rents are going to get compressed with the way rates are, and then insurance costs is going to go up and depress as well?
No,
The
I'm not
prices.
worried about insurance. I mean, insurance, I think it all goes in cycles, right? I think
Does it?
rental,
I don't know. Does insurance
this,
go in cycles?
yeah. I mean, I think interest rates are gonna. I think a healthy interest rate, to be honest, is around 5%.
Okay, we might get that into next year, right, for election year.
Yeah, when elections come up, interest rates are gonna magically drop down. Watch.
Yep.
They want the economy to be more optimistic. They want people to be more happy,
Right.
and they'll make whoever is, I think Biden look a little better because like, oh hey, before the term ended, right? Like, you know, so it's just all. If you think about this crap, which is kind of scary, like all this is at the mercy of the government, right?
Oh yeah.
So like if you know that it's in a cycle, then just know that just hold it long term and you can't lose, right?
Right. Long term, it's very forgiving.
Yeah, it's long term, very forgiving, and like whatever. Okay, yes, insurance went up, but everyone's insurance went up too, not just you.
Right. But I mean, it just cuts into your cash flow, cuts into your NOI.
Yeah, that cuts into everyone's cash flow and NOI, right?
Right. No, but I mean, the tenant doesn't have to deal with it. Like,
Oh yeah.
your prices have to
Well, the
come
rents
down.
you can raise. I mean, you always just raise the rents, right? I mean, there's
Right.
always demand for housing, and if you have a nice house, then you always have somebody, right? And
Right.
I think it's expected for at least my tenants that we raise the rents every year. My single
Yeah.
family homes in California, I don't raise the rents. I'm not as good about that, but like my property manager, they raise it every year.
Wow.
They don't care.
Like
Right? I
50
know.
bucks kind of thing, like 25, but 50 bucks.
Yeah, but $50 times 20 units.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's 1,000 times that by 12. That's 12,000. Divide that by 8 cap.
Yep.
That's how much your value just went up by.
Yep.
Right? Like I get my California ones. I'm kind of lazy too. I'm like, oh, they're great tenants. They don't bother me. I don't want to raise the rents, but then I'm like, God, I need to cash flow a little more too, right? And because I'm just like, dude, if you were to own like my Livermore house, if you were to buy that from me, his monthly payment all in for everything would be like 8,000 at least, because it's worth about 1.3 now
Yeah.
at a 7% interest rate.
Crazy, right?
You know, my loan's only 600,000, and I have a 3% interest rate on it.
Yeah. That's hard to sell, but yeah, if you could sell it to scale, then that helps.
You know what I mean? So like I can take that, sell it, take the equity, and trade up from 4,000 a month in gross income to like something like in the 30 range, right? And then
But why not?
I know I'm tempted. The more I'm talking about it, the more I'm kind of thinking about it. It's like I ran out of capital, but then hey, I have these piggy banks over here, and I just can start selling them and trading them, right? So maybe I'll do that.
Yeah.
You know,
I thought about it too. Like all these houses with ADUs, I'm like, yeah, it's worth like 125, 1.3, but I'm like, I don't really want to sell it. It's like my first one, my second one, it's just a little harder, but yeah.
yeah. I mean, like you say, if you think about the numbers wise, like yeah, you're gonna trade up from 4,000 to 33 gross, right? And then the value is based on a multiple versus depending on the market.
Right. I think selling the apartment to do that would be a little too much work because it's a little too much. $4 million and
It's a lot of work though. I mean, I'm gonna say like I think that 50 unit was pretty stabilized. You know, I'm sure there's a unit here and there that needs renovation, but it's not gonna be like major. Like I'm renovating everything, right? Like a turnkey unit is like, yeah, out of 50, maybe you have to renovate 5.
Mhm.
But if it's more, decent, maybe it's like 5K each.
Right.
So it's like 25K. That's totally doable. So yeah, I might do that. I don't know. I can't think that far yet until my mobile park's gone and I free up all that mental clarity. But
Exactly. That makes a big difference.
because to me, I want to maximize what I currently have, right? Like if it makes sense to sell it and then trade up, because inventory is so low right now, I still feel like I can get a good price,
Yeah. No, I agree.
And then like it's just kind of like, yeah, I'll regret selling it, but at the same time, it's just kind of like, long term, right? 30 years in advance, I think an apartment complex that's 50 units can do better than a single family home.
I think so. Yeah.
In California. So that might be the way I might go. I might just be like, all right, let me get this under contract and I'll do a reverse 1031 exchange. So that means I need at least enough money to put down the down payment on the property, right? And then once I front that, I can do my reverse 1031 exchange and reimburse me. So
That's an option.
the more I'm talking to you, the more I'm kind of convincing myself to do that.
So 2-year project?
Yeah. Well, yeah. If I get to the point where things are stable, I'm good, and then I got my primary residence, and then I might do that.
Yeah,
I can always do that. Or what I told my girlfriend, what we can do is we just can house hack every 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
So live in a house hack for 2 years, and then we sell it, and then because if you're married or you're living in there, you get a lot of tax benefits, right?
Right.
And defer some of the, I forgot, was it 200,000 or half
500 if you're married.
Yeah, if we're married and it's $500,000, and we own the property for like, let's say 5 to 10 years, no, 5 years, because you have to live within 2 in the past 5 years, and you sell it, and let's say we have like $200,000-$300,000 of equity in that, we can sell that, 1031 exchange it, and basically buy like a small apartment complex or some Alabama new builds, and just do that like every like 2 years. We just buy a new house, move in, buy another one, rent out the old one, and then once it's been year 5, we just sell that one and 1031 exchange it into something else.
Yeah.
And just continue that process over and over. So that's something that we thought about too, doing. Or we can have a second house loan too, right? Like you can have your house that you live in if you don't want to move, but always buy a second house, and then sell that too. So there's like
so many options.
Yeah. So that's the beauty about real estate. And what I kind of realize, I'm like, like it's insane. Like just owning real estate and sitting and waiting, I feel like I'm at such a luxury where I'm like, the fact that I'm privileged enough to be like, I can. Like even you too. I can sell my single family home and trade each one into a 30 unit apartment complex.
Yeah.
Right? Like if you sold each of yours for 1.3, I'm like, you can buy a 30 unit apartment complex in the Southeast.
Yeah.
Each one of those single family homes, you can trade those up, and you can go from like 10 single family homes to like 300 units. So
I want to run the numbers on that for fun and see what it's like.
or even like half of it. Or the beauty about you owning 10 is you can just get rid of half of them. Or if I were to ask you, is there one property that you would sell right now? You're probably thinking of one.
I'm probably thinking of the apartment.
Right? You're thinking about something, right?
Yeah, the apartment, like, maybe. The 15.
Yeah. So, like if it makes sense, then it makes sense. It's not like you're losing the opportunity cost. You're just trading up for something that might make more sense.
Yeah. Maybe. I wonder if there's like an 80 or 100 unit around there for the exchange.
Yeah. I mean, well, you can buy in a better area of Tulsa.
Yeah.
That's the A-class market, So
I mean, way less cash flow though, right?
No, I mean the rents are higher, but your cost per unit is gonna be higher.
Right.
So your cost per unit might be like $150K per door, and you're getting maybe like $1,000 to $1,200 in rents. So you're a little bit below the 1%, right?
Right.
But 1,000 per door times 100, that's 100,000 a month, right? So like
valuation is gonna be really
for
high.
For example, I was looking at an 80 unit, and I think he wanted around 4.5.
That's a perfect exchange.
Yeah. So like that's in Oklahoma, right?
Yeah.
And then I think that one he was getting, I think about 600 per door. So that's about
units?
80 units. So that's about 50K.
Yeah, that's double what we're getting. No, a little less. A little. We're getting 30.
Yeah. So basically, that'd be your trade up, right? You basically have the same loan amount, but you'd go from about 30 to 50K.
Yeah.
And you'd own about 80 units.
Yeah. And we have a lot of equity in a lot of properties. We just pull it out and renovate it using that.
Yeah, if it needs renovation, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I might call up that guy again to see.
No, like the property near Seal Beach that we finished, no debt on that one. Duplex in front, 2 ADUs in the back. Rents like $9,000 a month, gross.
Yeah, pull a HELOC on that guy.
Yeah, but East West Bank's like give us about $20,000 for the fee. It's like $15,000 fee plus $5,000 junk fee, and we'll give you $850,000 line of credit at 9.5%.
Yeah, that's basically better than hard money loan.
Exactly.
Yeah,
I talked to a bunch of these fix and flips and stuff, and they're like, "Whoa, we can't beat that," because they're at 11% with 2 points. Here is a one-time $20,000 fee, and you have 10 years to use it.
Sometimes you get like 14. I've seen 14.
Oh yeah, my guy's recording me 11, but it could be bait and switch too. I don't know.
A lot of it is bait and switch.
Yeah.
And then, so yeah, I mean, yeah, you could do that, to be honest.
Yeah. Once
Also,
these are done, so yeah, I have more time to run my numbers and play around and look in Tulsa, look in Tennessee or something. I don't know. Places I've never been to or heard of.
yeah, well, I'll see if I start sending letters, I can wholesale you one maybe.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Let me know.
Makes sense. Yeah, it's hard, you know, cash flow. That's the only gripe about single family for me. But I get single family is such easy barrier.
It's so stable.
Like I got my feet. Like I tell people like who go to me, I'm like, dude, you're buying my mentorship to buy apartments, but I might actually have you buy a single family home first that you're gonna live in, and you're gonna house hack this, and then eventually the equity will go up, and you can trade that up to an apartment.
Yeah.
So I know it's not sexy to hear that. Hey, it may take you 5 years, 2 years to save up for a down payment for a single family home and own that single family home for 5 years, and then sell that to buy an apartment complex that it takes 3 years to stabilize. That's a 10-year plan. I know it's not sexy to say, but you can do it.
Is this right now? Is this so hard to justify buying at these interest rates? A lot of markets, it's better to just rent, right?
Yeah, but what's beautiful about new builds is they buy down your rates for you.
Okay. Oh yeah, that helps a lot.
Right. So like if like you can negotiate and be like, because sometimes they're desperate, they want to get rid of the property, especially if you're pre-qualified and you use your preferred lender.
Yeah.
Like I've seen it where they'll buy down your rate, so you're like around 4.5 to 5
For the full term or just like a couple years?
Yeah, fixed 30 years because they buy down the rate for you, so they're paying the
Okay.
lender.
I knew about the introductory one. I didn't hear about the actual buy down.
No, it buys down like permanently, right?
Wow.
So that's why new build's the way to go because you have more wiggle room to negotiate. So you want to buy down your rate. So,
But they're not building in areas that are like bad or like on swamps or stuff like that just because they have nowhere else to build in those areas, right?
well, yeah, like in Irvine, for example, they're building in Great Park, right? In Alabama, they're building all around the neighboring areas of Huntsville, Alabama, because Huntsville is already saturated. So if
Okay.
you're willing to drive like 20 minutes out from Huntsville, that's where you can buy a brand new build, and they're building a lot of them for like 250 to 300,000, and they rent for about $2,000.
Yeah.
And you can get the buyer to probably like, or the seller to probably buy down your rate a little bit, you know, or some build to rent sellers are actually carrying a note. They'll finance the deal to you,
Right.
for like, 2-3 years, and then you can cash out, refinance it when interest rates drop later. So I think builders are getting a lot more creative because they just want to get rid of their inventory and continue building. So once you understand that motive and their motivation, then it's easy to like pivot accordingly. So that's why I was kind of looking at new builds, because like there's this one guy that they're offering seller financing where it's 3% interest only for like I think the term was like 3 to 5 years, and it just buys you time until interest rates drop down, then you can refinance again later.
Yeah.
So there's ways to get there. You just have to be a little creative about it, but you can only do it with new builds. So that's why I like a little bit about new builds. And some lenders I know in Alabama, they do 5% down for new builds.
For rental?
Yeah, for rental.
Wow.
That
sounds almost desperate. That means, yeah.
Well, you're going to be cash flow negative, right? Like,
yeah.
That's
no, 5% down. This is like, yeah, you wouldn't buy a house in California with a VA loan.
Yeah. So like, I mean, that's the trade-off, right? Instead of putting down 25%, you're putting 5% down, and whatever 20% was left over is going to be used to feed the home. But if you're looking at it from a tax write-off depreciation perspective, it's more beneficial to own like 5 homes you buy at 5% each versus one at 25% down. Right. So like I said, it depends what your objective is. So that guy, his objective was, he has a business that makes a lot of money, so he just wants the depreciation. He doesn't mind the hit.
Yeah.
So in that case, I would do the same. I'm like, shit, yeah, give me 5 of those. Give me 5 of those bad boys. And then depreciate it and write it off. So
a lot of options.
Yeah. But, all right, man. I didn't realize we talked for 2.5 hours.
Jeez. All right. Yeah, appreciate it.
No, yeah, thanks for hopping on. I didn't log on initially, so I was like, oh, no one's been signing on. And I just logged on for the hell of it.
But if you logged on and no one logged on, don't you still have a topic, or you just go on something, or?
No, like if no one shows up, then I just close the session and I'll just record my own video.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. But you still have a video though. Okay.
Yeah. But
You still make a
I
video.
honestly prefer to like talk to somebody versus
Got
like
it.
talk to myself.
Yeah.
So it's easier and it's, I think, more valuable when people hear questions from like yourself. I mean, you're more experienced than most of my audience, but just the perspective and seeing what it's like. So
Yeah.
all right, man.
Cool. Appreciate
keep me posted, and yeah, I may reach out if I want to build an ADU.
Sure.
When I relocate to Orange County.
You're in LA now?
Yeah, I'm in LA.
Okay.
I'm probably only gonna move to Orange County if I get a remote job or I just retire myself. So
Cool. Okay.
all right.
Yeah.
Hey,
I'll see you later. Yeah. Thank you.